Hi there everybody, it's Verity here from inkybutterfly.wordpress.com. Thank you for joining me again today for another YouTube video. If it is the first time you've stumbled across my channel, please do subscribe if this is the kind of content you like to see. And of course, if you have enjoyed what you see today, if you could give me a thumbs up, that would be really brilliant. We're going to make this card today, and this is actually, I'm actually casing someone from Instagram called Anne Quartet. I will put her details into the description bar below if you can go and check out her ideas. She does some really lovely things. So the basic idea was that she had a circle with flowers inside, and I've adapted that and made this particular card for my sample. Now this features the Poinsettia Petals collection of products. So the sentiment here, warm wishes to your, from our home to yours, is just there, and I've used real red, and then I've used the coordinating dies. So I've used this little sprig for the decoration, and then these guys to cut out the little poinsettias. I stuck some gold pearls on, and the sentiment's cut with a stitched rectangle. So that's how I created my sample. But I'm going to mix it up, and we're going to switch to a more neutral occasion card. Okay, so I'm just going to go with a thank you card today, and I'm going to use a grey colour scheme. Just change it up slightly. This is Smoky Slate. Okay, and all of the little elements that I'm going to use are actually going to be using punches instead of dies. So if you're not someone who's got a die cut machine, you can make something similar. So I'm using the small bloom punch and the sprig punch, okay, to create my elements for today's card that I'm going to show you on the video. And the sentiment I'm going to use is the thank you from Peaceful Moments. Okay, so I did quite a bit of prep ahead of time because it is largely an assembly card and about how you get the elements together. Okay, so as I say, I've got my my white card base and my Smoky Slate cardstock ready to go, and what I've already done ahead of time is punched out all of my little flowers. I've done 7 of them and stuck a mini dimensional on the back of those, so they're just ready to go and to be assembled. And I've cut out 3 of these little sprigs to decorate with. Oh, they've got themselves tangled up, so they're ready to go too. Okay, and then the other thing that I really wanted to show you was how I die cut this little circular frame. I've already got my thank you stamped. That's in basic grey. So the circular element, kind of like a porthole, I guess, isn't it? This is the largest stitched circle from the Stitched Shapes dies. Such a mouthful to say, that is. And then I've got a plain circle from the Layering Circle dies, which is actually the second largest, is with the plain edge. Okay, I wouldn't normally recommend putting 2 dies together like this, so it is absolutely essential that you take those down really securely so that they don't move in your die cut machine. So the one way you will break dies is if dies overlap. Okay, if you're in any doubt whatsoever about doing this, I would recommend cutting the inner circle first and then positioning your other die around the edge of it. But you know, make sure they're really securely in place, and if they're not going to overlap, you can cut them together. Okay, so I'm just going to put those through my die cut machine right now for you, but I just wanted you to see how I'd actually got to that point if you were going to try this yourself. And then of course I happen to have used circles, which is what Anne did in her project. But there's nothing to stop you using either the layering squares or the layering ovals as an alternative. Okay, so there's our thank you die that just fell out. Beautiful die cut machine we've got now. We have a lovely scrap circle that we could use for another project, and then if we untape this from behind, we get this lovely stitched circle element that we can use on our card. Okay, just move those to one side. And I'm actually going to layer up this first and get that done. Just using Stampin' Seal to adhere this smoky slate panel to a white card base. And I'm actually going to use this as the background behind my flowers. My flowers are white on this particular card, and the grey background is going to make them pop a little more in that circle. So that's where that's going to go. You could emboss that panel and embossed hers, but I'm leaving mine plain. Okay, just making sure that's all nice and adhered, nice and flat. Okay, so then that's going to go over there. So there's a lot more impact with the grey background, in my opinion. That's going to end up on there. We are almost definitely going to be having those on dimensional, so let's just put those on now. So that will be ready, like so. Okay, so on my original sample, I actually raised up the circle, but I think it's going to be more impactful having it flat actually. So I'm going to use some liquid glue, no, liquid glue, just a smidge around there. To put that in place. And the other one sat a little low once I've done it, but so this one's just going sort of above centre in the middle there. Any little stray bits of glue will dry clear, so you won't see them. And I'm just putting little specks of glue on this on the backs of these dimensionals, which means that when I place my flowers, I've just got a couple of seconds or two to get those in position. So my first three are going to go in a line up the middle. Now I've deliberately decided that mine are going to be in some kind of pattern. You don't have to do them in a pattern, you could just fill the, and they do just about fit inside there. And so that, just that little bit of glue just gives me just that little bit of moment. I've done 7, yeah, that's right, yeah. A couple of moments just to make sure that I'm happy with my positioning. Sorry, I had that really low on the thing there, but hopefully you could see what I was doing. Of course, I want them to just sort of sit centrally in there and look. I mean, if you make a pattern, you kind of got to make it look even, otherwise it won't look right. So it's worth taking the time to make sure that they are where you want them to be. And then I'm just going to give those a bit more of a press. Okay, cool. So it's going to take a couple of moments to dry, but we can position our sentiment underneath while that's happening. Now I did overlap that slightly on the other one, but I think I might just leave a gap. Again, just looking to try and make that even. It's probably not dead centre, but it's close enough. And then we'll add our little sprigs. These would have looked nice in hint of soft sea foam or something. I don't think I've got any. Got some mint macaron. Should we see what it looks like with mint macaron? Sorry, just changing my mind entirely there. Just an injection of colour on an otherwise plain card. Ooh, I'm torn now because actually that looks nice, doesn't it? Where did my sample go? There it is. Yeah. Or do I just leave the two? I could do like three. I do like the rule of threes, to be honest. And have that one poking out there like we did before. So yeah, I don't know whether to go with the green just to inject some colour or actually. Oh well, you can tell me in the comments whether you think that was a good idea or not. Okay, let's put that away. So I'm just going to put a speck of glue on the back of that, which allows me to get it in underneath the that punched element, or die cut element, sorry. A bit heavy-handed with that one. So any stray glue will dry clear. You only need a little bit just to secure it, as long as it's in place underneath. It will hold. It's really strong glue. And then the only thing to add to that is the embellishments to the centres of the flowers. So options then, we've got pearls, which we could colour to make them fit in with that green a little bit more. Likewise with the diamantes. And then I've got silver pearls as well, but I'm thinking if we're colouring them, we'll probably want to go with one or other of these. Shall we go pearls? And grab the coordinating marker, mint macaron Stampin' Blend. I've got 7. Oh, this is going to be really light, it barely shows up on there. So let's go with, should we see how shaded spruce looks? It will dry lighter. Oh, makes a really squeaky noise. 5, 6, 7. The alcohol on there will dry very quickly, so we'll be able to use our take your pick tool to pick those up almost straight away. She says if the thing will come to her. There we are. That's not a bad match colour wise actually. That was light shaded spruce I put on there, if you missed it. Of course, if you happen to have coloured pearls in your stash, then use those. Then of course, this could, change your sentiment, change the shape you're working with, or and change your colour scheme, and you've got all sorts of different occasions you could make something similar for. Oops, that's not in the middle, is it? Let's move him over a little bit. There we are. Give it a little bit of a push. Okay. Cool. little bit of a change in direction right in front of your eyes there, but I think that turns out okay. Quite like it, and I hope the original creator likes my interpretation of what she did. So really different looks there for Christmas and for all occasion, but I'll be interested to see what you make of that. Thanks everybody for joining me today. As always, products that I've used today are available in my online store. Please do click below, and you'll see all the links directly to the shop there. Okay, thanks ever so much. Right, take care. Bye.